Are you struggling with your mental health? If you are, you're probably not alone. You're probably in the numbers. I've got some stats in front of me here. So, in 2000,
5 more seconds. 8 seconds.
so anxiety was at 35.9% and peaked at 42% in November of that same year. And in October 2023, 33% of the population had anxiety.
Huh.
And yeah,
But according to you, that's fear, right?
I think the underlying result of anxiety is no doubt fear. Some type of fear in your life. I mean, if you don't have any fear in your life, what are you anxious about? That's my opinion on it. What's
Life.
your feeling? Yeah.
Life. I'm not in fear of life. You know me. I'm not fearful of anything. But I still have anxiety and depression.
So you wouldn't agree with my statement then?
No, I completely disagree with it.
So
Only because you of all people know me.
yeah.
I live my life without fear, but it doesn't mean I don't have anxiety sometimes. There's things that I may not be fearful of it, but I can still be anxious about it.
Can you give me an example of what you're talking about? Like, what would you be anxious about? Like specifically?
Prime example, going up north, moving my daughter into college last week, or was it this week? What's today? Today's
Yeah, last week.
Tuesday, so that was last week.
Yeah.
I was anxious for it. I was anxious to be there spending time with my 3 daughters and my ex-wife as a family for the first time in 13 years, but I didn't have fear. What's going to happen? How is this all going to roll out? Are we going to be able to get along? Are we not going to get along? That's not fear driven. That's just questioning the scenarios.
I don't
Because
know.
I'm not fearful of any of the scenarios. I'm not.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you can't have anxiety still.
Yeah, I don't know. Based on what you're telling me, I mean, there's some fear of an interaction there that creates that anxiety based on what you're saying.
But I don't have fear of the interaction with my ex-wife. I don't. If she acts like a fool, I'll write her off. If she
Yeah.
doesn't, then okay, cool. We get along and we have a great time as a family for the first time.
So with that type of thought, what's there to be anxious about if that's the final thought afterwards? Like, why would you be anxious about it anyways if you're going to kind of write it off in that fashion?
Just how it's going to unfold and how I'm going to have to be. If I'm going to have to be a jerk, am I going to have to be civil? You know what I mean?
So what do you think about the commentary here? Is fear an underlying cause of anxiety? We obviously disagree on that. Why don't you drop a comment and let
Yeah.
us know what you think about where anxiety comes from, or maybe what you're struggling with from an anxiety perspective, because again, you're probably not alone.
Right. Sorry for the
Right?
sunglasses, guys. It's bright out and I can't handle it.
All good. You look pretty good in sunglasses too. You're kind of scary, but
I don't mean to be scary.
and then depression, way up again here. If you look at from 2015 to 2019, I'll just use the term here, suicidal ideation increased 45%.
I can believe
45.
that.
All right, so why do you say you can believe that? And again, you might be in these numbers. You might have had those thoughts before. And again, you're not alone. But why? Why would it be up 45% in those 4 years?
COVID.
Well, that was 2020. This is 2015 to 2019. I do agree that COVID had an impact on
On
that
those
comment
numbers.
as well. And there might be some stats in here that actually support that as well, Josh.
Well, and the only reason I
You know.
say that, well, even before COVID, I dealt with depression my whole life. I have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because, again, it's not a fear-based thing. It's my life sucked. And I didn't know how to pull out of it. I didn't know how to find the beauty in the darkness, like we say. I didn't know how to flip the script and change my perspective. I didn't know how to walk with God. I didn't. I didn't have a relationship with him.
So what do you think happened for the people that out there that between the years of 15 and 19 where that thought went up by 45%? What do you think caused that? You're talking about you.
What do I think caused a lot of that?
Yeah,
Social
if you're
media.
looking at I would agree with that.
Social media.
Expand on that. What do you mean by
Because
that?
everybody's out there, and we've talked about this in previous videos, everybody's out there touting how great their lives are, and they have no problems, and their lives are so amazing, and everything's so perfect for them. But in reality, 9 out of 10 times, those are the people who have the most problems, and they're faking it till they make it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, let's be real. There's plenty of times where we've had to fake it till we make it.
And how many times? Yes, exactly. Which is sometimes you have to do that to get by, and
Well,
until you can figure it out. You know what I mean?
until you can figure it
out.
out, and
Yeah.
also being men, we have to do that to be the pillars of our family. I mean, there's plenty of times where I've been depressed and down, and my kids had no clue.
Yep.
Why? Because they don't need to know.
Right.
They don't. They need to know that everything's going to be okay, and Dad will always find a way.
How you been lately, by the way?
Amazing.
Good.
Life is amazing, my friend. It is.
That's great.
It's all in perspective. You know, I can have some bad things happen, and it's okay. Like today, I received a phone call from one of my daughter's friends. I've kind of become a pseudo dad to all of her friends, and her boyfriend broke up with her, and she's halfway across the state at college, and she called me just in tears, going, "I don't know what to do." And I told her, I said, "Kiddo, God has a plan for you. You need to
right.
remember that. Like, it's not meant to be easy. Life isn't meant to be easy. I don't think it is. I don't think if you had an easy life, you'd be showing God that you're worthy of eternity in heaven."
Well, you mentioned God, and maybe one reason why you're struggling with depression and anxiety is because you don't have God in your life right now. And when's the last time you considered maybe praying, going to church, being in fellowship with people?
Agreed.
Why don't you just start with being in fellowship with people if you don't believe in God as a starter? Because I do think social media is one reason. I do think another reason why tied to social media is being in isolation.
Agreed.
Because what are you
Wholeheartedly.
doing? What are kids typically doing? People typically doing, including kids. When I say kids, look, I'm close to 60 years old. Josh, he's approaching 50 here in a few years, but you're all kids, unless you're older than me. But what are they doing to isolate? Like what's
They
causing
sit on
that?
their phones.
Yep.
They do. They just sit on their phones.
Don't you think video games were a precursor to the iPhone even? Sitting there in front of the TV playing video games. I know you're a video game.
I'm a video gamer,
You're a
but
gamer.
But
think
again,
about that, though.
I do feel it as a precursor. But the thing with video games is you can jump online and play with people all over the world. Like, I've made a lot of actual friends that live in Canada, actually, of all places, that I talk to regularly just by playing video games.
You think it's the same as being in person in fellowship?
It is absolutely not the same.
You don't think it is? Okay.
No, I don't. I don't
Yeah.
believe it is even remotely close to the same. Do I have a relationship with these guys? Absolutely, 100%. But do I have the same relationship with them that I do you? Not even close.
So let's talk about that a little bit more. How often are you people in person with other people in your lives versus just being texting people, right?
Well, even like work from home. Like me and my brother were talking about this the other day because he's work from home. He doesn't see people. He literally gets up, walks from his bedroom to his bathroom, and then from his bathroom to his office.
Yep.
And he sits in his office from 6 in the morning until noon, takes lunch, and then goes out of his office to take lunch, and then goes right back into it. So he sits at home all day and doesn't see anyone.
And I think if you're not seeing anybody, if you're not calling, even like, you think about, we used to call people when we were younger, right?
What?
We couldn't text.
What's that?
Exactly.
You can call people and have a conversation?
And I know a lot of people are actually skirting the idea of having to call somebody.
Yeah, because it's so much easier to text and they don't have to have an actual conversation with another human being.
Exactly. So that you're creating these habits, right? I mean, so let's go to gaming by yourself, social media, you're by yourself, not getting in fellowship with other people because you think you have it in another way. You even said it. You have relationships with people in Canada through gaming, but it's not the same.
Yeah, 100%.
What is different about, let's say, just this relationship compared to like a gamer that you met?
So
What's
I mean,
different?
Number one, let's talk about the basic. The fact that texting has become the new norm for communication. The problem with texting, there's no voice inflection.
Right.
You can't tell whether somebody's being sarcastic, funny, anything. Yeah. It's just there. And you have to play the guessing game. Where at least on a phone conversation, you can get that.
Yeah.
But even on a phone conversation, the biggest thing you lose is you lose that physical presence. You can't tell somebody's body language over the phone.
And people can't tell yours either.
Right.
I mean, they don't know. They can tell if you're hurting, if you're in person. They can read your vibe.
Yep. And they can hear what you're saying,
person.
but they can't see what you're going through.
I mean, you can't really say, are you all right, via text by reading body language.
Nope.
You know what I mean? You just don't know.
Nope.
You can do it via some of the stuff that they're saying.
Yep.
But even then, there are times when people might say something that the inflection isn't in the text. You're not going to pick it up.
Agreed.
You know,
Wholeheartedly.
I had a friend of mine who told me that he had a guy who was struggling, he lost his job, and he was really depressed. And he asked me, because he knew that some of the struggles I had gone through and the people that had supported me. He's like, "What should I do?" You know what I told him?
Pray.
No, I said, "You need to show up. You need to show up and be there for him. You just need to show up. You're not going to want to," I said, "but you just need to go and show up." I don't think he did though. You know why?
Scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Sissy.
What are you afraid of?
Whoever you are, yeah, man up. Man up. Let's go.
What are you afraid? And again, I don't know if he did or not, but last time I talked to him, I checking in. He said he had not gone over to see him, but I told him to do it.
9 out of 10 times, that is all someone needs.
90% of life is just showing up.
Yep. Just being present.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything spectacular. You don't have to be this great individual. Just show up. Show up and show people you're there for them.
Yeah.
That goes so far.
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt about it. And people, they really do, they are wanting fellowship in their lives, and I think a lot of people just don't know it. I mean, if you're in this box, if you're always in your room, if you think you have it through social media and it's a fake type of fellowship, maybe you call it FTF, fake type of fellowship. You got FTF. You're just not gonna thrive.
I don't see how you can. Because again, we don't thrive by isolation. We don't. We don't thrive by closing our doors. We thrive by being out, by being around people, by communication, by interactions, by personal experience, and you can't get any of those things if you're staying shut in.
You act like you know what you're talking about. Could you imagine going through, and you shared the story, so I'm going to bring it up, going through AA via text and Teams meetings?
I can. I tried it when COVID hit.
And?
It didn't work.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah.
It was there was nothing that was the same about that at all. I hated it. I couldn't wait for real meetings to come back. Mm-hmm. Because being in the same room with those individuals and having that fellowship is not the same via Zoom. It's just not. You don't get the personal interaction. You don't get the body language. You don't get people randomly coming up and giving you a hug. Just giving you a hug.
Affection.
It is. It's sad that we as a society have found ways to isolate and continue to find more ways to isolate instead of finding more ways to come together.
Well, I think it's got, and it might even start, you can go back to emails. You know what I mean? People weren't calling each other anymore because of the email coming out here back in the 90s, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You don't need to call people anymore. You can email, you can hide behind an email, and that was hiding behind a text. And
everybody's tough behind the keyboard.
Right? Exactly. It's like driving, kind of the same thing.
Everybody's tough behind a keyboard.
Yep. And again, I think it's just getting worse and worse and worse, which is why we think that depression, anxiety, and unfortunately, suicide has gone up over the past 5 to 10 years. I mean, did you know that?
I also honestly believe another part of that is people's faith. I really do.
Go ahead, expand on that. Or lack thereof, you mean? Or
yeah, a lack thereof. Because after COVID shut everything down, I think a lot of people lost their faith. Because, number one, our government's not supposed to be able to control a church or school. Church and state are all supposed to be separate, right?
Yeah, you're getting a little political. But
No. I'm not trying to get political about it. I'm just saying, church and state are supposed to be separate.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
that's all I was getting.
Debatable too, but yeah, keep going.
It was supposed to be separate. That's all I was saying. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden, states were dictating that we couldn't gather as a God-fearing community. And now here we are, when we were in the midst of COVID, everybody's sitting here trying to lean back on God, but they're not allowed to go have faith.
Well, and on top of that, because of the fact that Teams and Zoom were brought into the world in an expeditious fashion.
Yep.
You've got people now that are like, they're not going to church because they're watching it from their couches. I'm not saying that's wrong. But what about the worship piece? What about being there when you feel that moment of just being overcome by a song? Or
not going to lie, I'm guilty of that too, because
so am I.
When my back went out, I couldn't sit in a pew.
Yeah.
So then I got in the habit of just watching church on TV, and now it's gotten to a point where I just stream it at home, and And it's sad that my own kids are calling me out on it, going, Dad, I thought you said after Easter we were going to get back to going to church
Yeah.
every Sunday. And I said, yeah, I did. And we just got busy with life. And then I found out that I was sitting there making excuses to not go to church.
And I had done that too. You know, and getting back to the fellowship piece of it, what if you need to be showing up to church so you can say that one word to the person who needs to hear it? Well, if you're talking about being too busy, which I do the same thing, I'm just focused on me. I'm not focused on the opportunity to maybe go serve somebody else.
Agreed.
And maybe pick up a few things that I wouldn't have picked up sitting on my couch because I was going to my dishwasher to empty my dishwasher while listening to the sermon. You know what I mean? What was I missing because I couldn't be focused for an hour? I couldn't be focused for 1 hour.
Absolutely get it.
So these are all things that, in our opinion, have caused a breakaway from faith, a deeper faith, which in turn, as you said, have alluded to, was the cause of anxiety and depression, right? Which I agree with. I mean, I 100% agree with that. So we really covered 4 or 5 different things.
So wait a
to
minute.
The cause
So what you're willing to say is, I was right. It's not fear-based? Is that what you just came to the conclusion of?
No.
Because it sounds to me like you did. Like you kind of came to the conclusion that it's not fear-based.
No, because
that it can be, yes,
because
but not for everyone.
Well, here's the thing: is the verse in the Bible, "Perfect love drives out fear." I love that. I love that verse. I think I quoted it not too long ago.
I agree.
And if you don't have the perfect love from God and Christ and the self-love that you need, which you typically get it from church, why would love and fear be the opposite? So I think all of everything we talked about, whether it be fellowship or lack thereof, it's a lack of love. If you're sitting there by yourself, focused on what everybody else is doing, and you're looking at yourself thinking, I'm not successful, I'm not that pretty, I'm not that handsome. That's a lack of self-love, which I think drives more fear.
But I don't have any of those issues that you're describing.
Yeah, we get
not one of them.
Yeah.
I know I'm a beautiful man.
I've already told you that you're pretty. We obviously have disagreements on this, and maybe we're getting just a little bit too granular on it, and maybe we're saying the same thing.
And maybe we are. It is.
But the fact of the matter is, we know that anxiety, depression, and suicide have gone way up over the past 5-10 years, and just know that you're not alone in it, and you are probably in one of the numbers. And the key is really just to go get help. I mean, pick up the phone, go to a counselor, get in fellowship with people, maybe go back to church, maybe get off social media for a period of time. These are all ideas of things to consider. Any other recommendations from you, Josh, as to what
get
people should
involved
consider?
with a Bible study. Try to get involved with anything that you're interested in,
or just getting outside of yourself and go to a nursing home and
Well, I don't even mean like that. Like even if it's something that you're interested in, like I'm big into side-by-siding and snowmobiles and guns and things like that. So sometimes it's just going out and wrenching on my side-by-side is a way of clearing my head and helping me think better.
You know, isn't it so hard?
Finding clear thought.
It's especially people who are depressed. It's hard for them to get out to do anything.
It is, and that's why I'm saying, like, if you can just start with something like that.
Start small.
Start small. I'm not saying...
Like, go take a walk.
Go serve into other people, absolutely, when you get to that point. Mm-hmm. But if you're shutting yourself in, to start small. Go outside and work on a hobby.
Yeah.
Tinker with something. Maybe get your hands moving again. Do something like that.
Yeah.
Go for, like you said, go for a walk or go for a nature hike. Go see God's beauty and what He's given us.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of things and plenty of directions you can try to get out of that funk, you know? Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just a matter of picking up a phone and making a phone call to someone.
Well, and the other thing, exactly, and sometimes when you call up that person, they might be going through the same thing that you're going through, or they've gone through it before and they can counsel you.
Exactly.
You know,
and then they're taking their darkest parts of their life and using it for a positive. That's something we talk about all the time.
And you know, here's the thing, to your comment there, why don't you consider dropping a comment about something you've struggled with in your life, depression, anxiety, maybe a couple sentences about what you went through, and let people read them. And if one person read it and it changed their life and got them to consider taking that next step to, I'll just say, freedom, when you want to help somebody, drop a comment. I think people would love to hear the struggles that you've had and maybe even where you overcome, or to Josh's point, maybe you haven't totally overcome.
Well, and that's, guys, that's why we started this show. That's literally right there why we started it. We started it to help others. So why can't you help others? You're listening to our content. You're listening to things we're saying. Well, shouldn't you be going out and doing other things for others too?
And you know, this is, I'll just say
And if you don't want to post a comment on our page, send us an email about it. We can keep it anonymous. We have no problem with that. You know, if anonymity is your concern, send us an email and let us know. We can keep your name, info out of it and just talk about a scenario that you've overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Finding hope at a suffering society at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's our name at gmail.com. Send us an email. Maybe that's what you need to do to get your story out, to maybe help others. Use us.
And this is serious stuff, right? I mean, the stuff
It
that we're
is.
talking about. There's a lot of content on social media that deal with just being goofy and funny, and you know, just for somebody to make a quick buck, you know. And considering the state of the state, the state of the country, the state of the world, why not participate with us and kind of helping advance God's kingdom and
Just
to help
helping
people
to
help
become
them live
happier.
a better life. Yeah, exactly.
Just helping others become happier.
We don't want it. We're not trying to do this by ourselves. We're looking for you to help us do the same thing. And without your comments, your ability to share, again, an email with us, or willingness to share, I mean, again, we could do this together.
That's what we're here for.
So
Use us as your voice.
yeah,
If you're too scared to put yourself out there, use us as your voice. We're more than happy to. I mean,
Exactly.
the more we talk about this kind of stuff, the more we make this a social norm, the more common it becomes, the easier it becomes to help others.
That's right.
It truly does, because we can continue to step outside of ourselves and do something for someone else. And I can tell you that I feel 10 times better about who I am and who I've become when I step outside myself and try to do something for others.
Mm-hmm. I heard something the other day. True freedom in life is not feeling afraid to be stupid when you go out and do something, especially in front of other people. It's like, just go for it.
That's how I've lived my whole life,
Oh,
my
I
man.
know you have.
Live every day
know
like
you
it's
have.
last, and don't regret it, because you know what? Maybe not making that move held you back from progressing.
And just for the record, I said feeling like being stupid, not being stupid. There's a difference between the two.
Oh,
So
100%. I'm stupid.
don't go out there and be stupid.
I'm stupid. It's fine.
'Cause we've both done stupid.
Stupid
before,
gets you in trouble, though.
It does. Yes, it does. But so again, this is Finding Hope in a Suffering Society. I'm Rosh,
I'm Josh,
and we're here to help you find the beauty.
in the darkness.
And by the way, if you found that light,
Please, please go share it with others, because the more that you share, the more that you step outside yourself, the brighter you shine.
see you in the next video.
See you guys.